Welcome back, guys. After a long break, we are finally back with the quarterfinals. It did. I weren't quite ready to go into it, but now we are into it. And my name is Benvarmeren and I'm, as you can see on the screen. And today I'm joined by Bobby.
And here I am. As you said, quite a long pause, but nothing like the 1 hour wait we had last week. That was quite a long waiting.
That was definitely a long break, but we are already into the pick and ban phase, so let's just get started.
So we see that the blue team and the purple team already almost banned every single champion they should have banned. Starting from the blue team, we see Twisted Fate, Malphite and Ahri as free bans. Quite unusual to ban Twisted Fate and Ahri, but still, yeah, looks like they're quite the aimed bans, because I really do not always see Twisted Fate and Ahri banned. On the other side, Malphite is a pretty usually banned champion, so not that bad of a decision. On the purple team, we can see Gambling, Zilean and Fura's bans. So 3 bans quite aimed as well, because Fura is pretty strong and she doesn't always get banned only because a player does know how to play her, but even because of her, even because as a champion she is quite powerful, and a ban is almost a must onto this champion. And Zilean instead is quite an aimed ban as well. So 3 bans pretty interesting from the blue team, but as well from the purple team. What do you think about them?
A lot of target bans indeed coming out from both teams, and they are definitely opening up for a lot of opportunities to get first picked, and we actually can see that a lot of champions have already get picked. So let's jump into the picked champions.
We can see that the purple team started off with the Kog'Maw, so it's gonna be quite the interesting bottom lane, followed by Braum as support. On the other side we have from the blue team Lulu, top lane. This time is going to be a Alistar and followed by a Kalista, so it's gonna be pretty aggressive bottom lane. Really nice as a decision, because onto this Kog'Maw is going to be quite powerful, playing a champion as Alistar. And let's see who is gonna pick the rest of the red team. But what do you think about this Kog'Maw pick? A really interesting one.
I mean, I love the Kog'Maw just because he is so ridiculously strong right now. There's so much damage on the side of that Kog'Maw, and if you can protect him, all you really need is 5 to 7 seconds where he stands still, and then he's going to be demolishing the whole team. So I love the pickup. However, the Teamspeak crew, they have already really found a way to counter the Kog'Maw pick, because you have a Kalista. That's already a lane bully. If the Teamspeak crew are able to get a 2v2 lane, then you have Alistar who can hard engage onto Kog'Maw. Even the Fate's Call can hard engage onto Kog'Maw after Kalista hits her level 6. And Lulu can also slow down Kog'Maw, so there's a lot of ways of getting onto that Kog'Maw. And looking at the champions that are about to get picked, someone like Rumble can even slow down the Kog'Maw, so you get even more hard engage onto that Kog'Maw just to shut him down.
It's gonna be possibly once again this Rumble jungle, and I really will never get tired of saying that. And it's gonna be supported, or at least helped by this top lane Nautilus. Nautilus that we have seen before had a pretty bad start into the laning phase, but because of a poppy in the last game. And this time he's going to be facing an Irelia, so it's going to be quite an interesting matchup. Meanwhile, by the red team, we can see a Zac as a jungler, so it's really going to be a quite aggressive jungling style from the purple team. Meanwhile, as mid laner, let's see who are they going to pick, because maybe it's gonna be an Orianna. It might be quite an interesting pick, and a really good composition by the purple team, because combining Orianna with this Zac or Irelia is really strong. There is so much possible instant damage coming out from a single engage that I really do not lose count. Really do lose count of that.
Okay, so Orianna is going to be the last pick for FootsieBlanket, and to be honest, I'm not a fan of Orianna. I don't like her. You just give up so much pressure with her, because you're forced into a farm lane where all you want to do is to get the free power spike, the free item power spike of Orianna, where you get your mana item, you get a death cap, and you get your void stuff, and you just to farm until you get that. But also, in this composition that the FootsieBlanket team has built, you have the Cockmore. You just want to really peel for Cockmore, and there aren't a lot of peel on this side of FootsieBlanket. So right now they haven't put all the eggs in one basket, but still, I mean, I'm not a fan of Orianna, and I think there would be so many other champions that could work better, especially in this team composition. Something like Lissandra could be way better.
And indeed, we just reached the 3 minutes, so I leave the outro and the pause that's gonna follow us until the start of the game.
Yes, we will indeed hop over to a break, and when we return, we will have the quarterfinals on the way. So we'll see you in a short notice, and we'll be right back. And now we are in game in the quarterfinals. So everybody, my name is Jesper, Benvarmeren, and say hello to Bobby, who will take you to the introduction of this game.
Game that is indeed going to be quite interesting as the others. So let's see who and he's going to do something, or at least which team is probably going to do something into this game. But especially let's start from the items that the two teams decided to go on with. Let's start from saying that this Lulu just decided to go with a corruption potions as first item. She was about to go out with the Doran's ring, but decided at the last second to switch into the corruption potion, so it's gonna be quite interesting to see how is that gonna work out. It's not quite that bad of a decision, because since Orianna doesn't really need a lot of mana spamming, ability spamming for farm, especially thanks to her own passive, she is able to stay in lane for quite a longer time than many other mid laners can. So Lulu probably made not that bad of a decision to go out with those potions. On the other side, on the other lanes specifically, we can see that even top laners decided to go with corruption potions, or that's a normal stuff actually, but still it's gonna be interesting. I do not like still the corruption potions onto the Nautilus, but well, that's all about how you like to play the champions. On the other side, we can see the junglers going out with talismans, and well, nothing really particular so far. The blue team and the red team both started pretty passively, and so let's head into the game and let's see who is gonna make the plays.
Let's indeed head into the games. Now, the winning condition for FB, the FootsieBlanket team, is of course to play around your Kog'Maw, because Kog'Maw, everybody have seen the last few days how Kog'Maw can really be such a devastating champion. If you watch the EULCS, you could see how Reckless were able to carry Fnatic back in the game, where they were actually behind around 5k just from around 10 minutes into the game. So Kog'Maw can definitely turn the tides into the favor of his team. So Kog'Maw, play around him for FB, but then again, as you can see, the winning condition for the Teamspeak crew is to shut down that Kog'Maw, because you have a team that is developed around shutting down Kog'Maw. You have Kalista who can hard engage, who can deal the damage, Phage Call, Alistar, Knockup, Nautilus, Abyssal Charge, Death Charge. I'm not quite sure what his ultimate is called. It's Death Charge. Okay, yeah. Close enough, but still. So much crowd control can go over to Moonman TV on the Kog'Maw. So just shut down that Kog'Maw. That's really what you have to look for.
Meanwhile, in the middle lane, this Lulu is playing pretty aggressive onto the Orianna that doesn't really have much health right now. But we can see that the Zaki is going in. Whoa, that flash from Lulu. What? Did she really just flash like that? That's kind of scary.
I mean, she thought she was in range for an E and a Q, so she just wanted to use that combo and then an ignite, but weren't quite able to do it, and ends up costing her a flash. So now she's more vulnerable for a gank coming from Trunksgong, because Zac is actually a pretty strong ganker with his elastic slingshot, and Moonman TV is already having some trouble in the bottom lane.
Yep, these sides are pretty aggressive, but once again, right now, can you confirm me that Lulu currently has her teleport on cooldown? Does she has the teleport on cooldown?
Yes, she has.
She used it on position. Meanwhile, in the top lane, we see this Nautilus going down by this Irelia. That's was supported by this Zac, but I really am concentrating too much on checking out this Lulu that really used her own teleport on position. I do not know why she did that, but still now she is without the teleport. Damn. Oh no, okay, she did not use that in position. She went back for them. They take the seal. Oh damn me. I did not see that, because she went back so fast and moved right back into the lane that I did not notice even that she went back in base. Damn me.
well she did do that, and now the first blood went over to FootsieBlanket, so with them getting the first blood onto Eternal Galaxy, that means that another carry can take all of the pressure away from Kog'Maw, because she's also going to be a threat if she can keep snowballing, if she can get more out of that one kill that she already got. So that's really what you have to look out for. And now Trunksgong, he's running around the mid lane, and he might want to do some ganks, but he has been seen out, because there are some wards around that mid lane area, just to keep Remick safe. Now that he doesn't have a teleport or a flash, he has both a normal ward and a pink ward, so he's never going to be in any trouble at all.
This Irelia indeed is pretty strong right now, thanks to the first blood, especially as she took it. It was a really nice play there, even thanks to Zach that gave her enough time to be able to land some hits, but the damage was really a loss even as a starting game. And now to the step, as I said before, starting off with just a corruption potion is not something I do like on him, but still, maybe it works out good when you are up against passive champions, but Irelia is not that passive of a champion. You need to pull up some defense onto that, and so that's how it ended up. 1 kill for Irelia, it was a pretty easy one. If he probably had a shield, something about more defense, could have been able to get out of that gank pretty easily. But still, many people will probably flame me because I do dislike the corruption potion, but still, it's fine. I can deal with it.
Fair enough, fair enough. Anyways, you talked about how you'd like to see some resistance on the side of Cubon, because he is against Irelia, and I'd like to see him go for the Sunfire, because Sunfire is a strong early game item. You know, it has been buffed a little bit. Now it has 50% bonus damage to minions, which makes it such a better item in split pushing. And Nautilus, if you go for a Sunfire, then you are committing to split pushing, but you're also committing to early game trades. So, but I like to see the Sunfire just because it is such a strong item with those 50% bonus damage to minions.
True. So let's see even what are the other items. But meanwhile, this Rumble pretty aggressive onto the counter jungling. He has level 6, so he might be able to force this Zac into his own passive, but the bottom lane comes to support him, so nothing happened at all. What's happening? Did I miss something?
No, I saw that Kog'Maw was very close to stealing the blue buff with his vomit. I mean, he was so close, and there was like 3 health before he would have gone over to him.
Damn. Okay, so poor Kog'Maw, no blue for you, poor mate. Meanwhile, in the top lane, the 1 level advantage of this Irelia can be seen heavily onto this Nautilus. If Nautilus reaches there, still an Irelia with Phage. It's very strong early in the game. 8 minutes passed, and I really want to see how this Nautilus is gonna work out on there. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, Orianna doing not that much good as a farming situation, not as much as Lulu, but to think that Lulu is pretty strong at pushing the lane, almost a lane bully. Orianna is just doing fine. She started with the Calice, so it's gonna be a lot of passive there. Meanwhile in the top lane, we see a fight, and here we go, this equalizer! Wrecking the Irelia that was just engaged by this Nautilus, and now it's Zac into his own passive, not enough close onto his tower, and he's going down as well.
That was very unfortunate, but also very greedy from the side of FootsieBlanket, because Zac were low, Irelia were low. You should not have gone in for that. It was very, very greedy, and you deserve to get punished for it.
We have to count that Rumble was quite hidden, because Irelia really did not notice he was there. Probably if they were to notice that he was there, they were not possible to engage onto that. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, this chains onto the Orianna, the flash goes out, the teleport from Nautilus, the shockwave trying to buy some time, but it's still not enough because the Alistar as well just arrived. Pulverizer and knockups coming, so nothing to do for this Orianna.
And now there's no teleport on the side of Eternal Galaxy, so he couldn't join in to help his team right there. And that just means that he's forced to stay in the top lane, and he might be able to get a tower, or at least put down a lot of damage to it. And now the Teamspeak crew, they were able to get the first dragon. And I mean, I've seen these types of games from the Teamspeak crew, because they are always a team that wants to turn up the heat once we hit the mid-game power spike. They never really want to do anything in the early game. If they can get ahead, then that's good. but they don't really care about getting ahead. They just want to farm and get their first items or 2 items, and then they want to turn it up, start to do something. And that's what we're seeing from them right now. They know what they can do, they recognize their strengths, and that's why they are slowly getting to a point where they can fight even more. Now Trunksgong's in the mid lane, and Remek might be in a lot of trouble.
He might be, but well, jumps the nice, or at least not starting this Zac is not going to get by the middle lane. As you said before, this Sunfire might be coming out for this Nautilus, so let's see how fast can he pull this out. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, this time is Orianna in a really lot of troubles. The ward right there spotted out the Alistar, so the gank the tower dive is not an option anymore, but this Zac is going to have some trouble because he found this Nautilus right in his own jungle, but the kill goes into Rumble's hands. And that's gonna be a 2 kills for Rumble, 2 assists. A Rumble that right now has even the farm advantage over this Zac. It's gonna be quite huge in the mid game, this champion that it's really overpowered.
Rumble is definitely a strong champion, and again, it fits so Morphosky.
Oh, whoa, maybe he's gonna go down. No, Kog'Maw doesn't manage to land the last hit. The teleport from Lulu stopped instantly by this Braum ultimate. Cracks that slow down this Lulu and ain't gonna get close to the AD carry of the red team. Very well played by the Kog'Maw onto the Kalista, almost getting the kill, but not enough. The damage pulled out. It's not done yet. The blue team going in. The flash from Kog'Maw. The stun that manages to get the kill onto the Kog'Maw, and right from behind him, that Alistar coming from the tower, taking the headbutt into the Kog'Maw and giving Kalista the kill. So it's gonna even possibly be a tower by the bottom lane, but that Zac is defending.
And you have to be careful playing against Moonman, because Moonman, as the Kog'Maw, is slowly getting there to a point where he's strong. The Ginsus isn't the strongest power spike. Of course, it's the first power spike, and it's a small power spike because you finally get damage. You get some attack speed as well. But still, once you reach your Hurricane, that's the point where you can really demolish people. That's the point where you will push faster. You will hit more than one at a time, and you will really be that hyper carry that everybody has to look out for. But then again, you are against a team that can really dive onto you all the time, because Tabasco on that Rumble, packing a lot of damage already, 2 kills, has a lot of resource. Now Runic Echoes completed and have around 2k in his pocket, so once he goes back, he'll have a lot of damage as well, and he's just going to have an easier time demolishing Moonman whenever he gets into a team fight, because of all the base stats that is getting empowered by the raw AP that he's going for in his buys.
Yeah, indeed, this Kog'Maw is really an easy target right now, especially because that Nautilus ultimate is too easy to be landing on him, as well as the Equalizer from Rumble. All of them together are just death drops for this Kog'Maw. That's not gonna get easy into this game, but to make sure that the Kog'Maw himself could have had some supporting. Not only Braum surely is going to help him out, but even the Orianna possibly is going to play a bit passively to support him, because as you all know, Orianna is indeed a passive champion, especially in the early game. In the laning phase is pretty passive because she cannot deal that much of a damage at the start, but this Alistar is going to be sent right into the Kog'Maw's face, and the headbutt pushing him back is just gonna be another kill. This Kog'Maw really is too easy to get.
And again, a point where you can see that everybody's just assigned to kill Moonman, because once you hit your Equalizer, then he's slowed down, and then you have Lulu who can slow in more. You have Alistar that can knock up. We haven't seen Cubon join a teamfight yet, and he's also with his Death Child able to keep Moonman locked down. But the Fate's Call is so strong, Alistar is so strong. Cubon, hang on a second, you're going to be visited in the top lane.
Oh, this Zac misses up just for a few pixels this knock-up, thanks to Nautilus anchor onto the wall. Very nicely done by Cubon, just avoiding in time this gank.
but now 2 persons are heading to the top lane, and Eternal Galaxy could be in a lot of trouble, but I think his spider sense is tickling a little bit, and now he will see D-Lord being spotted by a ward. So this means that the Teamspeak crew, they can pick up a tower yet again. Now they have 3 towers, they have all of the outer turrets, and they are slowly developing a strong gold lead. Right now it's a gold lead of 4,000, so they're getting there, and it's all from pure CS lead and towers.
Even about kills right now, because 7-2 is really not something you should not count. Meanwhile, a possible team fight is going to happen because Zac jumps right inside, not bouncing yet because he cannot stand by the knockup of Alistar, and the red team tries to gather up for fight out this Rift Herald that was just the target of the blue team that did not manage to get it. Now is possibly the best time for the red team to find something to do, because the blue team was forced to go back. Like they're just minding about pushing the middle lane. It's not that much of a strong idea or a strong objective, but let's see what they will pull out. Oh, that might be the engage instead from the blue team. The equalizer goes in and focus on to the Orianna wrecking her. They are not focusing too much to the Cockmore. The exhaust goes on him. It's a real chaos right there. Rumble going out with so good speed. I really are trying to chase him down, but the Alistar, the focus is so much. Meanwhile, Nautilus keeping up the front line. The blue team is really low, but the red team as well. And goes down Nautilus from the mouse damage. And Irelia managing to tower dive, getting another kill. And then Lulu manages to chase down the Irelia. The last tower hit is not gonna be enough. Zac going out with so few HP. This Cogmao is going to be the key of winning for the red team that really is doing something good about defending it. Oh, this Rumble almost going down. The Flame Tower doing a lot of damage, but he probably is not going to be able to get that Zac, even if he's in passive form. When he tries, yes he tries, but he just goes down. Whoa, damn. The damage from the red team is really a lot. They failed that, the blue team.
And you need to get Cogmore, but you weren't able to get Cogmore because Irelia is also a threat right now. You know, Irelia, she's packing a lot of damage. She had the 24, so now she has a Hexdrinker as well. So you can't ignore her because she'll just jump onto your carries of Mofosky, Tabasco, even Remick. And you know, you can't really, if you can't defend your backline, I mean, then you cannot get the Cogmore either. And Cogmore now has his Runeans, so his power spike is huge. And you need to kill her, or kill him, or you will start to lose out in team fights.
And as we could see, this Cogmao really turned the fight back onto the red team side, because simply he was focused too late. Only Nautilus was concentrating on him, without counting the Alistar exhaust that came out a bit later. And well, really well done by the red team trying to defend the Cogmao. They could not defend the Orianna, and the fight went on 4 against 5 for the blue team, just because they managed to insta-kill this Orianna, but she was the only one that went down. Now it might be another fight going out even on this Dragon Pit. See how it's gonna be. And the Nautilus trying to stomp down that Zac that's not gonna bounce so easy. They are really going in onto the Kalista, but she's just going down, and the Zac just wrecking this Kalista. Very well done by this Zac. Bouncing or in-bouncing. He might be able to get even another kill onto the Alistar. And the Zac is going to get this Rumble once again. Lulu from behind trying to do something. The shockwave going out, but manages to dodge it. And now it's just Nautilus trying to not to die, but he's not gonna be enough because the red team really got advantage on that fight.
And the red team, they could go for Baron now. They are so healthy. They have a lot of damage, and the Cogmore could shred through the Baron. I mean, once again, you see the problem. Mofosky, he got taken down by Trunskunk, but before that, it was Irelia that was once again on the backline on Mofosky that are supposed to be the one killing Moonman. And if you cannot kill Cogmore, then he'll just kill your team because he is that hyper carry.
We have seen the Irelia dealing a lot of damage to that Kalista in that fight, but especially how well done was the Zax's jumps into that, giving the last hit literally to that Kalista, getting the one-on-one for his own team, and literally bringing down the most damage dealer of the blue team, because out of Rumble's equalizer, and well, he doesn't really deal that much of damage in a team fight, depending on how close he is to the enemy. The problem is that if Kalista goes down, there is way less area damage, team fight damage potential that goes down for the blue team, and the red team, knowing that, managed to get down that Kalista as first target, and then let the Kog'Maw do the rest onto the tanks of the blue team.
Exactly, you need to have Kalista there. She's your bottom breader, and Tabasco and Morphosky, they are just the damage. I mean, Remick, he's not there to deal the damage. He's there to be an utility support for your team. Of course, he deals the damage, a little bit of it, but he's not going to be dealing as much as he possibly could. And
Whoa.
I mean, now that Moonman, he has gotten to a point where he can start to carry. Nico Senpai on the Orianna can keep farming, because Nico, I said how Orianna just forces a farm lane, and it has been a farm lane for Nico. He hasn't really been a part of this game, so the pressure is taken away from Nico, and he can farm and farm and farm until he gets to a point where he's going to be strong, until he get the free item power spike. But still, I don't like Orianna. She's just so pressureless. But yeah, in this conversation, she gets the pressure taken away from her, and she can farm.
Indeed, luckily this Orianna even doesn't have that much of a farm currently. Lulu has just a bit more than her. Whoa! That equalizer was really not good. Damn. Just missed that. He was probably sure that Nautilus was going to get that anchor right onto the Kog'Maw, so he really threw what was a prevented prediction equalizer, but just failed that, and no engage for the blue team, and instead they have to wait a few seconds before being able to engage again. And now it's the right time for the red team to be doing something. The Kog'Maw is right on the front line, and I do not know why, but the red team knows where the blue team is. Now they're trying to engage by the Zac, and they're really going into the Rumble. Still nothing really aggressive going out. The red team might be able to take down this middle lane tower, because the blue team is so spread around. Zac going in, gets the Lulu, but still not enough to damage. The shockwave, not a lot of damage again. The red team really lacks the damage, and the Kalista taking him down. Meanwhile, Nautilus following up this Kog'Maw, and Zac taking down Rumble somewhere in the map as well. Meanwhile, Kalista was chasing up this Brown, and the kill goes out. The blue team really turned this on their favor, and it's not done yet. Whoa. Into the base. What's happening? Go Zac, try and jump. No, he cannot, and he is possibly going down. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, that Irelia manages to get out of the range of the blue team.
Yes, and again here you dive. You dive too far. You don't get your Kog'Maw with you. And he's getting hammered away by Nautilus. You want to protect Kog'Maw. At this stage of the game, he's your carry, of course. Irelia should be diving, but Zac shouldn't, Braum shouldn't. They should be there to protect Kog'Maw, and they weren't. So Moonman weren't able to do anything in that fight, and it cost them quite a lot.
The thing that really shocked me was Orianna's shockwave lack of damage. Really, I have not seen any sort of damage from that shockwave, from any of Orianna's spells. It was really sad to see that going like that, because the shockwave got many people, and it was unlucky that it went like that.
And again, the thing about Orianna is she wants to have free item power spike. If she doesn't reach that, she's not going to have any damage. At this point, she's practically not in the game, because she doesn't have any damage. She needs more and more farm. She needs more items. She needs more time. She needs 10, 15, 20 minutes before she's going to reach a point where she can peel more for Moonman, where she can deal the damage necessary to win the team fights for her team, and she needs at least 10 minutes more before she can get to that point, and at that point we are quite fine to the game, and we should have been there earlier.
Indeed. So let's see now how it might go out. Come out. Play from the red team that needs to recover from this fight loss. An equalizer going in just for separate the Brom from the rest of the team. Zac maybe cut off guard, but Dragon goes to the red team sense. Zac going down. The Rumble focusing onto the Orianna, the Shockwave getting only Kalista. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane we can see that Alistar is trying to go in onto the blue team, onto the red team. The Irelia going in, too aggressive. She is probably going down. Meanwhile, the Kog'Maw and the Braum going back onto the bottom lane because they really have nothing else to do. The blue team gets a free for nothing, and they are going for the Baron.
Here again, you aren't synchronized as a team. FootsieBlanket, they just get caught out. I mean, Kog'Maw again being focused by Alistar, being taken out of the fight. Orianna being focused. Irelia weren't even there to begin with. So much going wrong for FootsieBlanket, and you just have one thing to do: protect your carries. I mean, it really can't be that hard because it's just one Kog'Maw.
And the bottom lane tower is going down for the for the red team. Meanwhile, Zac trying to chase down this Kalista that got the red buff. So trying to get something out from a Baron that was just taken down by the blue team. A blue team that right now can take a lot of objectives one after the other thanks to this Baron. I'm really looking forward to see which one is the tower from the three lanes that's gonna be aimed for first. Possibly the mid lane, but everything is gonna work out depending on how the blue team is gonna behave. Let's start from seeing that as items I do really like currently now to the builds, from the Gauntlet to the Sunfire to the Spirit Visage. A really very tanky champion right now, but thanks to the Gauntlet he is even a bit more a damage stealer onto the Kog'Maw especially.
I like Nautilus's build as well because it gives him the necessary tankiness to deal with Moonman until his team can follow up onto his death charge. So I like that build as well, and especially the Iceborne Girdle is a strong item because it allows you to smack, as you said, people down and deal the damage to kill them. But for Lulu, she's also packing a lot of damage with the Abyssal Scepter and the Void Staff. She's getting closer and closer to having that raw damage, and she's again focusing on taking down Moonman. Oh, Moonman! Oh, is it the basket that's in a lot of trouble?
And that Rumble was pretty much in a wrong position, but he turns back onto the Kog'Maw and onto the Zac with his ultimate to deal some damage. It's not still gonna be an engage because the red team knows that that spot is really not where you wanna fight. The red team bottom lane tower is still going down. Now the blue team is pushing forward the middle lane, while even the top lane is a bit in their favor. So they may be able even to rotate towards the top lane, get even top lane tower, but that's gonna be quite interesting decision they're gonna take there. Let's see, they go into the jungle, they might be turning to the top lane. Yes, they are. Quite the decision there.
Oh, Eternal Galaxy is in a lot of trouble.
And the Eternal Galaxy trying to go into the Lulu using a pretty fast ultimate right there to prevent any sort of engage. The tower is not going down yet, even if it's half HP. It's a really tense moment, this one, because the Baron is really important for the blue team. They did not want to waste it, and currently the best way to not waste it is taking tower after tower, but they cannot even yet tower dive the enemy team because they do not have the right dragon buff to do that. They still have the second dragon buff dealing more damage to towers, but they need even the one that even the fourth buff that gives you way more resistance onto it. But
they don't have the necessary cooldowns either because Fate's Call weren't up Equalizer on up either, so you don't have the necessary summoners, sorry not summoners, ultimates to dive people right now. So you just need to wait for that, and you need to keep shoving the waves. But the problem is for FootsieBlanket that you don't have any wave clear. All your wave clear is practically Moonman right now because Nico sent by Soul far behind. Now they're fighting!
Zac Equalizer and Brom's ultimate going in, a lot of damage from this Rumble, and Shockwave going in front of Orianna, taking a lot of damage onto Kalista, Lulu and Rumble. Alistar now tanking the tower thanks to his ultimate, and he's possibly going down Zac into his own passive. He's not dying that easily. Meanwhile, Irelia trying to chase up this Lulu, and the team fight that looks really a lot in favor for the blue team just turned around and went into the favor for the red team because the Kog'Maw came out alive from that.
You need to shut down Kog'Maw. That's really the thing about that team fight. Cuban, he went in, he got the death charge onto Moonman, but there weren't any follow-up onto Moonman. Irelia, she was blocking the backline of Teamspeak crew, so the Teamspeak crew, they couldn't follow up, they couldn't kill Moonman. And now Moonman, he's just getting safer and safer. He has his Mercurial Scimitar now, he's going for a Starix Gauge, and he's going to be harder to kill. And you could even see someone like Nico, he's getting there in terms of damage because he's getting closer to his death cap. I'd like to see him go for Void stuff because there are a lot of magic resistance on the side of Teamspeak crew. But then again, you aren't them. Well, you are of course a carry, but there are others that can help you carry, so you don't exactly need it too much. You can afford to go for a death cap, but I'd still like him to go for void stuff, just get the raw damage and that free item power spike. But then again, I wouldn't have recommended him going for Luna's Echo either, because that is just an item that in my opinion doesn't fit onto an Orianna.
Indeed, really doesn't fit on Orianna. I do not like it as well. I would have seen better something more like not a real light Crystal Scepter, but still something that deals that gives you more utility instead than just a mage. Okay, that Orianna is pretty fast, but maybe many people do not like the Rod of Ages, but a Rod of Ages would have been not the bad of the choice on Orianna, because right now the Rod is a really strong item. We can see right now even the try of engage of this Zac onto the Rumble. Rumble really finds himself in a bad spot. Brown's ultimate trying to slow the Rumble himself, and it's going to be enough to be taking him down. Right now the red team just managed to get a huge kill onto the blue team because they just smacked him, and they're gonna be in a number advantage. More importantly, they might be able to take some objectives for now.
And the red team, they should just head straight through Baron because it's up in 10 seconds, Tabasco is up in 35 seconds, so you have a lot of time to finish the Baron. You have Kog'Maw, just go for it and burst down the Baron. There's really nothing else that should matter at this current moment, so just go for the Baron.
Do it!
Just do it, yeah, exactly.
Just do it. And that's exactly where they are going for. The blue team obviously is not gonna let them get it so easily. We can see the Nautilus going inside almost the beats, followed by Alistar. Zac focusing onto this Nautilus. It's getting exploded by the Kog'Maw's damage, but the Baron is still dealing damage. And that's gonna be the 2 for the Braum, and Irelia going into the Alistar. Wrong target because there is a Kalista right there. Kalista is taking the kill and double kill onto the Zac. Now the Kog'Maw, whoa! The damage of the Kog'Maw, but Lulu is turning back on him. Oh, the passive! The flash over the wall. He's still gonna be fine. And now Orianna, you are in a bad spot because you are 1 against 2, not much HP. What's she gonna do? Maybe she's going to be able to do something, not too much. Equalizer going in to cut her rods, and the ace for the blue team that manages to stop the red team from doing Baron, and most importantly, it seems like they're going to be able not only to pick up the Baron, but even to take the bottom lane tower and the inhibitor.
And again, FootsieBlankets, they go back to their bad habit of not being on the same page in the team fights. You had Forsaken, Eternal Galaxy also going into the team of the Teamspeak crew, whereas Moonman, even Chongskong and Nico Senpai, they were pulling backwards. They were trying to peel against Cubon. And if you have two of your frontliners taking so much damage, they shouldn't be doing that. They should just be with their team. And that's really what forces Moonman to take so much damage and to go down.
They really have done a good job, the blue team, onto this team fight. They managed in a 4-on-5 to get the ace onto the red team. Really well played by them. I really love the way Kog'Maw is keep on building that champion. In my opinion, the Starak is not that much good of an idea, but still it seems like it's working. But why are those two right there in the middle lane? They might be able to get off, and they are, because the blue team keeps the follow-up. Very nice, this blue team bait, we can say, because the two Alistar and Nautilus almost got wrecked there. The Equalizer cutting off the red team's direction, but just gonna chase the rod and go from the back door. The red team is still gonna be just fine, even if the shockwave is down. The blue team now might be able to get down this tower, just teleport from Nautilus coming back into the fight. Kog'Maw dealing not too much damage onto the Nautilus right now, because Nautilus just finished up his Deathman's plate. A lot of armor going in. Blue team is able to get not only the inhibitor by the middle lane, but even the inhibitor by the bot lane, thanks to Lulu before pushing onto the tower of the bottom lane. So two targets taken down, two important targets taken down, while the blue team focuses right now the top lane, where there is still two towers up. Red team needs really to turn this around somehow.
And I really feel like that the Baron buff going over to the Teamspeak crew were the nail in the coffin for FootsieBlanket, because you don't have any wave clear that can deal with Baron up minions. Nico certainly doesn't have any damage to kill the Baron up minions. Moonman is really the only one that can do it, and he shouldn't be wasting his Bioarcane barrage on minions. So for them, they have no way of defending their towers if they don't hard engage, and they don't want to hard engage you, because that means that they really have to find this perfect engage, and it's so hard to do this against a team with so much mobility, so much disengage as to the Teamspeak crew. So for them, that could definitely be the nail in the coffin. And I mean, they have a way of getting an easy way of finding the engages, because they have four blue trinkets, so they have a lot of ways of finding that vision. But even then, the bottom lane and the mid lane are pushing, and that's a worrying trend for the FootsieBlanket. But Trongskog, he might have found an engage, but isn't good enough.
It's not good enough, because simply he was alone, no damage following up from the red team. I wanted just to point out that currently this Kalista is doing just way better than the Kog'Maw, just having 12 kills and just 2 deaths. This Kalista really doing a lot in this game, but the two that are really doing a lot of job as well are even this Nautilus, but especially I do love how this Alistar is actually playing. He's tanky, always right in the front line, doing what he needs to do. And even the shockwave going in for the red team, the follow-up damage from the Equalizer of Rumble, dealing a lot of damage and really going back into the fight. But there is still too much damage coming up from the blue team. Going into them right now is just suicide. They know that, and the red team is even forced to go back. The ultimate, the final attack from Nautilus going down to the Kog'Maw, but the third target going down is Brom. Another one going down is Kog'Maw himself. Oriana goes down to the Kalista. The mate gets a quadra kill. Is that a quadra? Yes, it's a quadra kill. Gonna be the penta kill. No, gonna be stolen by the Lulu. And the game goes into the Teamspeak crew. Very nice game, this one. 40 minutes game onto the blue team's end.
And in the end, it was just all about FootsieBlanket not being able to play to the winning condition of really protecting the Kog'Maw. You know, Moonman, he where he didn't really sit and just auto attack freely. He never got a chance to do it either. So in the end, they just weren't able to play to their winning conditions, and that's what cost them the game, to be honest. And now that means that we'll take a short break. When we return, we'll have the semi-finals of this week's Go4LoL, and once again, it's going to be the Teamspeak crew versus a team I'm not quite sure which is going to be right now, but we'll find out after this break, so don't go anywhere and we'll be right back.
And I'm bleeding words, they escape me, the recoil it hurts. And I can't look the other way, I'm chasing starlight to find a starred away.